No sé en qué se la han guardado. Okay, this is what we can show here. I'm sharing this one. So when it's time for this, I can share it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I sincerely want to welcome everybody to the second day of ICSESS. So before I proceed, I want to especially welcome Professor Dr. Arif Saleh Grossman, the Dean of Faculty of Social Sciences, UTM. You're welcome, sir. I also want to welcome, Miss President, the immediate past Dean of Faculty of Social Sciences. So, Dr. Zaidatu Binti Tasser, you are very welcome. Today is the second day of the ICSESS International Conference. It's been a wonderful journey since yesterday till this morning. Very successful. But I have to acknowledge the effort of the executive committee of the ICSESS Conference. They did more than just commitments. It was overwhelming. The support, the collaborations, and everything that we did with each other was highly overwhelming. So I want to say thank you all for your efforts. I also want to thank our collaborators and partners. They did so much to make this a success, and that is what all of us are enjoying and still enjoy today. The keynote speakers for today are specially designed for today, particularly because of their discipline and desire to development and sustainability of strategies that can change the world. We are very happy and overwhelmed by your acceptance to be part of this conference. We thank you very much. Our conference is a culture of ICE, International Student Society, Nigerian chapter, because of the level of academic scholars that come up the conference. The level of encouragement and the output of our scholars in their empirical publications made it very, very interesting. We keep it up. As we go further today, I would like to affirm that there is no better place or better society to collaborate than ICSESS Nigeria UTM because of their engagement in research and development. We take it as a pride, as it's like a spirit in our society, in our organization, in this institution, that we collaborate and continue to collaborate and partner with everybody to make sure that we remain in tune with what is in the world in finding solutions to economic developmental processes. In light of the above, I'd like to welcome you all this morning to this another day of discussion. Thank you all for being part of it. For those that are connecting online, thank you all, and I wish you a happy day. Thank you. Without having said that, we want to move because we have spent a lot of time trying to fix things. We have to call on our first keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Aris Saleh Rosner. He is the current Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and University of Technology Management. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, the host of the ceremony, the president, representatives, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the organizers for letting me as one keynote speaker in this international conference on science and the social sciences assessment hosted by the National Student Society Nigeria and this is an opportunity for me to share
on the topic fostering research and innovation culture and understanding from the first regulation. As well, the professor states in the as an introduction, I would like to emphasize the significance of the first regulation to UTM's research and innovation culture. The first regulation received by the Prophet Muhammad, which consists the first 5 verses of Surah Al-An'am, has a very close relationship to UTM. These first 5 verses of Surah Al-An'am are read at the beginning of each session of the UTM convocation ceremony. Therefore, my presentation will focus on the understanding of these first 5 verses of Surah Al-An'am and towards fostering research and innovation culture among the academics. The main purpose of scientific research is to develop knowledge and also build civilization. Where value knowledge is the basis of civilization is resurrection and revival. A nation will not last if it neglects knowledge as the basis of its renaissance. Knowledge in its most comprehensive and both progress and connotations. Culture is a set of prevailing trends, values, goals, and practices that distinguish a particular institution, organization, or group. Malik Benabi, one of the Muslim scholars, in his book Mushkilat al-Kafar, defined culture as a set of moral attributes and social values that reflect the individual sees birth and subconsciously become the relation that makes his behavior in the way of life in the medium in which he was born. So the research culture is the essence of human life at all times and places, especially in our present day. Scholars are responsible for carrying out research and studies to acquire results that will provide solutions for issues in the community to bring out their betterment and learning. As the professor released in the term, let me start my presentation with the analysis on the conceptual framework of the research and innovation culture from the first 5 verses of Surah Al-An'am. The first revelation that is revealed to Prophet Muhammad has a significant sign of comprehending the research culture, where Allah the Almighty said, "Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, khalaqa al-insana min 'alaq, Iqra wa rabbuka al-akram alladhi 'allama bil-qalam, 'allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam." Read in the name of your Lord, who has created all the exists, has created man from a dawn. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who has taught the right thing by the pen, has taught man that which he knew not. Ladies and gentlemen, from the analysis, I would like to focus on 10 lessons understanding from these verses as we fostering research and innovation culture. Ladies and gentlemen, the first lesson that we can understand regarding research culture in Surah Al-An'am, reading is the basis and catalyst of research and innovation culture. In the Almighty's command, Iqra, read, recite, proclaim, lies an indication of the importance of reading in people's lives. This command is not specified to read only a little series, but to read the universe that we. This is done by means of reflection, analysis, contemplation, and logical reasoning, and all of those are encompassed in the research process. Sheikh Ali Sabuni said in his valuable writing, Sohbah al-Nasir, that this is the first divine revelation address to the Prophet Muhammad SAW, in which there is a call to read, write, and learn, because it is the essence of the religion of Islam. On the other hand, Saint Paul, one of the contemporary Muslim scholars from Syria, in his book Al-ICSESS, mentioned that as understood from the context, reciting indicates the relations between fact and contemplation. Then the meaning of the most is read this universe and this man in the name of Allah, the Almighty. Therefore, it is evident that the search to comprehend Allah's command and implementing it on earth is within the connotation of Allah's command. Iqra. Allah did not specify in the matter that what next. Okay. Allah did not specify in what matter that what the Prophet Muhammad should be. This indicates the generality of the command to recite. That is to read anything, either the Quran, the written text, or realize the power of God behind the creation of the universe, such as the research in biology, chemistry, physics, as well as people's education, political and economic issues. All of that signifies that scientific research is within the concept of the command of Allah. Read. Syekh Abdul Mahmud, former Vice Chancellor for University Al-Azhar, noted that some people might think that the science intended is limited to the knowledge of the economy. And that is not the case. When Allah mentioned that scholars are the ones who fear Allah, He surrounded the Quranic verse with an atmosphere that prevents from limiting science to it. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Holy Quran, next, in Surah Al-Fatih, verses 27 and 28, do you not see that Allah sends down rain from the sky and we produce thereby fruits of varying colors, and in the mountains are cracks, white and red for varying shades, and some extremely dark, and unknown people and moving creatures, and grazing livestock are various colors in them. Only those fear Allah from among His servants who have knowledge. Indeed, Allah exalted in mind and judgment. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Professor, next slide. The second lesson from the first revelation regarding research and innovation culture. So research and innovation is a form of worship to Allah that brings man closer to piety and righteousness. At the same time, the understanding of the first 5 verses of Quran, read or recite in the name of your God, the and the macrocosmos, the universe, by doing scientific research. There is carried out in the name of God. The Almighty is a form of worship that brings man closer to light and righteousness. Where Allah said in Surah Al-Baqarah, verses 21st and 22nd, O mankind, worship your Lord who created you and those before you. Then you may become righteous. He who made for you the earth, a bed to spread on, and the sky a sea, and sent down from the sky rain, and brought forth thereby fruits as provision for you. So do not attribute to Allah equals while you that there is nothing similar. Ladies and gentlemen, the third lesson that you can get from the first revelation is sincerity to Allah in research and innovation activity, and He will give us His help. The third understanding from the first verse of Surah Al-Baqarah, in the name of God, indicates the necessity of sincerity in every action, including reading and new research and innovation in this. Dr. among the Muslim scholars, explained in his tremendous writing, Tafsir al-Razi, that the meaning is to read the Quran while recalling the name of the Lord, as if He made the name a healthy mechanism in what He is attempting, and its counterpart was written by a pen. It was evident when He said, Iqra, and the Prophet said, I am not a reader, so Allah said, Iqra in the name of your Lord, which means to recall the name of your Lord and take it as an aiding mechanism in acquiring whether that is transformed. Arazi further mentioned that this verse, Iqra, in the name of your Lord, means I do this deed solely for God. As He said, I built this house in the name of the prince, and I wrote this book in the name of the minister. That is, if a worship is solely for Allah Almighty, how dare Satan take part in what is purely for Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. The problem aforementioned, it is comprehended that a researcher must dedicate his attention purely for Allah the Almighty, that is to seek the obedience to the command of Allah according to His law, and to work for the good and the betterment of humanity, which is in reality the self-motivator for a scholar to research. Scientific research is not just a matter of worldly gains and motives, so the researcher must question himself whether he is doing research solely for the materialistic benefits, such as publication and recognition. Although there are theories supporting worldly gains for people as a self-motivator, the Muslim researcher takes Allah's reward as his first motive, besides his need for materialistic gains, because the search to implement Allah's law in the lives of people requires honesty and integrity. Every deed that is dedicated to Allah leads to acceptance by Him, and vice versa. That every deed that is solely not for Allah, Allah says in the Surah Al-Quran, verse 83, and we will regard what they have done is and make them as dust dispersed. Respected professors, ladies and gentlemen, The fourth lesson. Scientific research must be within the framework of divine education. Another understanding from the first verse of Surah Al-Ahqaf, "Iqra in the name of your Lord," implies that knowledge and scientific research must be within the framework of divine education for minds and cognitions and what Allah has planned for the individual in the society. The culture of research among Islamic intellectuals today must be founded based on this framework when conducting any research. Iqra in the name of your Lord, and not in the name of Aristotle, Plato, Descartes, and others, who base their scientific research on principles and standards that do not comply with Islamic law and ethics. And the righteousness of the latest generations in this nation is dependent on the righteousness of the early people, which means to go back to Iqra in the name of the Lord. Next, the fifth lesson from this first generation, the field of scientific research is within the boundaries of God's creation. Another understanding from first verse of Surah Iqra in the name of your Lord, who created, indicates that the field of scientific research is within the boundaries of God's creation, as quoted by Prophet Muhammad, which was narrated by Abdullah bin Salam, said, Prophet Muhammad came up to his companions while they were contemplating Allah's creation. He said, "What were you contemplating?" They said, "We are contemplating Allah's creation." He said, "Do not contemplate Allah, but contemplate His creation." Narrated by Rahman and Al-Qur'an. Next, the sixth lesson, the ultimate goal of research is to know Allah. Ma'rifatullah. Then we move to the understanding in the verse of Surah Al-Ahqaf. Iqra and your Lord is the most generous. It's an indication that the ultimate goal of research and innovation activities is to know Allah, the greatest, as interpreted by Al-Razi in his book Tafsir al-Razi, that the scholars agree that the first duty of man is to know Allah, the Almighty, to consider knowing Allah, and intention to do so. Knowledge is the most honorable human achievement. It is if the Almighty is saying that creation, resurrection, sustenance was His generosity and so on. But the most generous is the one who bestowed you with knowledge, because it entails honor. Therefore, the ultimate goal of scientific research for the researcher is to elevate and increase the knowledge and faith in Allah, the most generous, and to strive to provide solutions for the well-being of humankind. As for the community, quality research offers comprehension and awareness about Allah's generosity to His servants. Scientific research is a means of elevating faith for both the researcher and the community, and it is the responsibility of the researchers to produce what is best for the mankind. Respected Professor, ladies and gentlemen, the seventh lesson, sincere researcher will bestow with Allah's generosity. The second concept we learn from the understanding in the verse of Surah Iqra and your Lord is the most generous, implies that a man needs and doing research will bestow with Allah's great generosity. Saint Allah in ICSESS said that this is a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He who leads the universe and its creatures in His name, to honor Him with great generosity, where Allah bestows Him with unprecedented precedented knowledge that has not been granted any other. Any individual who is believers in the name of Allah, the Almighty, will be granted the finest and greatest knowledge. Then the eighth lesson, research-based teaching. The first verse, Iqra, the name of your Lord who created. And the verse taught men that which we knew not. Is evidence of harmonious relationship between research and education, wherein quality research will elevate the level of education and provide solutions to the problem of education. Besides, effective learning and education are based on the outcomes of scientific research. Ladies and gentlemen, the ninth lesson from the first revelation is writing is the core of knowledge development. We move to the fourth verse of Surah, who taught by the pen. Is an indication that the importance of writing is where Prophet Muhammad said, secure knowledge by writing. Hadith Sahih narrated by Al-Hafiz Ibn Asakir. Qatada interpreted this verse, pen is a blessing from Allah the greatest. If not for it, there will be no need. Allah taught men the many sciences generating from each other by means of the pen. The pen secures knowledge, which is the essence of the human life, and man at the arts, which is the greatest blessing of Allah, and the communication tool between heroes, such as expressing the heart. And if not for writing, there would exist science, no place of religion, and which life and system would be said. Writing is the means to secure knowledge and sciences. It is a tool to check the works of all the scholars, and is the instrument to transfer sciences between nations and communities. So the knowledge remains and keeps growing until our times. Then civilization are built. Intellects are embedded, religions are preserved, and guidance is spread. Writing is closely related to scientific research because quality research must be published by writing to share the results with the academic community. Respected professors, ladies and gentlemen, the final lesson we can get from the first revelation regarding research and innovation culture is all knowledge comes from God. Finally, in the fifth verse of Surah, he taught men that which we do not. His indication that the source of knowledge is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Qutb said in his book, that the source of education is the source of which is Allah, from which man acquires all that he has learned and what is yet to be learned. All the hidden secrets of life and the universe that are unable to him and the mysteries of himself, all of which comes from the one source and no other, that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wahbah al-Zuhayri in Tafsir al-Munir said that Allah taught man an abundance of things which he does not know of by way of the pen. So it is no wonder that Allah will teach you, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reading and many other sciences to benefit your community. The researcher in any field and specialization must be certain that the source of every knowledge is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is not permissible for the researcher to have any feelings of superiority that is intelligence and skills are what created this research and have arrogance to people. Ladies and gentlemen, as a summary from this understanding on research and innovation culture from the first revolution, The University Technology Minister has set a clear philosophy. The divine law of is the foundation of knowledge. In line with history, UTM strives with total commitment to attain excellence in science, technology, and engineering for the well-being and prosperity of mankind. And in short, UTM set the slogan in the name of God for mankind. Lessons learned from the first revelation that we discussed before will be the core of mission achievement set by UTM to develop holistic balance and prosper lives through knowledge and innovative technologies. With that, I conclude my speech. Thank you for the opportunity given to me by the organizer of the conference. May this discussion benefit us all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We are very grateful. And I want us to put our hands together again for him. Speaking, innovation, creativity, enterprise from the concept of it we have. We all see how we the 5 facets of the program to tell us what was it concerning our team. Thank you so much for the presentation. I'm going to allow the contribution, but then before, let us take the second keynote paper by our former dean professor. The title, this put your hands together as you come.
Professors, those who issued online last 2 weeks ago, I had Professor Sunday for questions that from Germany, looking at this expensive parallel signals, and of course, to say, engineer, you as the president of ICSESS Nigeria, and because of all the organizing committee, thank you very much. ICSESS 2022, the 50th National Conference on Science, Engineering, and Social Science, for inviting me to share some of my talk related to academic leadership, giving the academics activity and risk taking. Essentially, I believe they would reflect how we foster innovations and creativities and interpretations, especially in our times the So, my name is Saida, the former dean of the Faculty of Social Science and I've been appointed as academic status 15 years. I've been appointed since 2004, when I just finished my PhD in 2002. So my talk today will be more on how I actually with the faculty in terms of innovations and also creativity and internship to make sure that everybody's actually working in the right way. So everybody knows that COVID-19 has disrupted nations. If we go to sustainable innovation, the first our MCO movement order was 17 March 2020. At the time, I stood appointed almost 6 months as a dean of faculty. Before that, prior to that, I was the dean of School of Public Service almost 6 years. And I still remember on that day, on 17 March 2020, I used to call everybody to my office saying that we have a break about 2 weeks. And everybody feel excited about it, although the COVID-19 preparation, but everybody feel excited because of having only been about 2 weeks. So even though it's a break for about 2 weeks, but then of course we still have to work at home, and we thought that it's only going to last for 2 weeks. But unfortunately, it changes from weeks to weeks, from months to months, and almost 1.5 years. I think it was totally and locked down till I think almost 8 months. But as a dean of the faculty, I still came to UTM to work and settle everything, and that is the starting point that we face kind of a big challenge and how we're going to move. We have to decide after that 2 weeks whether we're going to continue all student classes or not, or we just need to follow the control order, or we just need to continue back our student classes. Then we decided on the 1st of April, after 2 weeks having the movement control order, on the 1st of April, we decided that we need to transfer 100% to online teaching and learning. So that's where I will share some of the challenges, how to really, how to actually manage everything, because you have to flip the way that you working, that you flip almost 360. Okay. This is how the faculty responds towards the COVID-19 research related to online learning adoption. I was the dean of the School of Public Service since 2013, and in 2019, my term ended at School of Public Service, and I'm back to faculty. Unfortunately, at that time, I thought that I would take totally a break, being an academic administrator, but then I was appointed on the 1st of October to lead the faculty. And those who actually UTM students know that in 2018, at UTM, we are combining all the faculties together. And one of it is our faculty of social science and humanities, which is actually from 5 faculties we combine to 1. And then on 1st of October 2019, I just took the challenge, even though I feel very, very reluctant to be appointed as a dean, because at that time, 12 years I've been appointed as academic administrators. I need to catch up some of my own area, the developments of research in my own area, but then having being an academic administrator, you have to do your works beside your research. So I thought that in 2019, I could focus only with my research and everything. But then I didn't want it again. So I'm not kind of actually when I didn't want it again, and so I need to predict what's going to be the future of the faculty. So one of the things that I predicted on in the 1st January before the COVID-19 preparation, I believe that the nation will go for totally online learning, where there will be the open distance learning will be the one going to replace the conventional learning. So on the January 2020, before we know that the COVID-19 preparation and we were having the MCO concurrently. So we introduced the policy saying that starting from the semester 2019 to 2020, we believe that all the faculty members must conduct teaching and learning at least 3 to 4 times a month for the 14 weeks of lecture. So we had set up that on 1st January of 2020, and suddenly COVID started relation and we go for MCO, then of course not really important for us to face, totally moving into the online. So this is what we have been went through. We prepared on the November 19, as I did mention, to March 2020, before the movement control order. We already prepared all the academic staff and the faculties to go for online learning, courses to all staff, online learning policy, which is actually, as I mentioned, 3 out of 14 weeks lecture, 3 to 4 times the lectures must conduct the teaching and learning online. And also, on March to April, we have to get ready, okay, to prepare the online learning clinics, the online learning buddies to all the lectures, not to all the students, to all the lecturers, and also the guidelines of online learning implementation. This is actually the rapid transitions to online learning that we plan April and March. And in May and July, we have to prepare all the professors and lecturers at the faculty how to do an online assessment. Not everybody believes online assessment. I totally believe online assessment because my background is on online learning. Yeah, I went through this already since 1998 when I did my master's at US. Part of my master's is actually going to be online assessment, and we did very well. And it's the UC in America, we are doing the online learning totally. So why actually when it comes to assessment, most professors reluctant to do it. There is tips and tricks to do online assessments to avoid plagiarism among the students. I believe totally on online assessment because I believe assessment is part of learning. So we prepare everything. We have the training of having the ability assessment among our lecturers, the guidelines and online assessment, and of course on August and October, actually trainings and preparing for using Zoom, using WebEx, how to design your online lecture materials, and we also actually introduce our online repository learning materials that we call it as overlay. This is actually a repository where the professors can deposit relevant materials into the system and other lectures we use it. And on October 2020 and beyond that, we still train the lecturers how to use the overlay system, the instructional design of designing the online materials. And we actually introduced the online award and also competitions. And we believe that till now, we must go for blended learning. This is 50% is going to be offline and 50% is going to be online. I believe the timeline that shows on the screens how do we actually respond to this towards COVID-19 pandemic is part of how you could be creative in your own ways in managing and leading the faculty. So this is part of innovations and techniques that we've done at the faculty. And what we can is that when we embark into the online learning, we reduce a little bit on our face-to-face learning, even at the same situations. Totally, there were no more face-to-face during the movement control order. And this is a part of some of the materials that we able to innovate during the COVID-19. This is actually, we believe on it, we actually try and error also and at the end of it, be able to innovate the systems, the guidelines, and this year we'll be back to face-to-face teaching and learning, starting from October. So some of the students were asking, can we do blended? So this is where the way that you can see that people change after COVID-19. And some part of it, we believe that when we go totally 100% online, then of course the face-to-face is going to be zero. Then we believe this year we predict it that we're going to be blended like this, and there will be continuous blended 50% for online and face-to-face at our work. Okay, and this is where because we believe in all the lectures we do, and some part of it, the open distance learning program has been introduced. The also EPM open distance learning program. Yesterday was the publications of the 42 of the first graduates from the open distance learning program. So we need, as a higher institution, we need to predict what the future is going to be in terms of this. And I believe that those who actually attend to this session, you're going to be a leaders in higher. Don't ever think that just when you just finish your PhD, you're back to your country, then you just want to say that I'll just want to do business, sit in my room, that's all. When you graduated with a PhD, you will be leading your own university. That's happened to me also when I finished my PhD in 2002. When I finished my PhD in 2002, I thought that I just want to stay in my room, do my research, do my teaching. I don't want to lead others. But then in 2004, they appointed me as the first post in the IT division. Then I started to think about this. And I started to think about beauty and faculty, and I started to think about connection. Okay. So I believe your country send you together to lead the country. I believe my name is so that one of it, might be all of you will be interested for UC, who might be the minister in the 1930s. And book chapters we produced during that time. We produced technology tools for online learning, how to use the tools during that crisis. And in every crisis, last opportunity. That's something that we have. All of you are doing your PhD right now. In every crisis that you went through, there's last opportunity. Believe on that. And people who are successful are not lucky. They are just prepared for opportunities. And that calm daily and thinking is the power. So it's not because of this something. It must be you have to able to grab the opportunities coming from you. So this is some of the innovations that we have introduced during this COVID economics. The technology tools for online learning. I took my time also to be one of the online authors of the book chapters. When we produce the online test take home, we also produce a report on how our faculty experience with digitizing the education. It's all these, the two of it is actually totally free. The online test and also a report that you can download it from our website. Okay, and of course we also produce the online final exhibition platform to get the lectures to use it. So this is part of the innovations that we are able to produce with the NCO. We also launched the repository, online repository, where the lectures can be posted the learning management society. Okay, so these sharing and resources will take place during the NCO. Okay, and other than that, we also use the micro-credentials modules. So this is where, not because of COVID-19, we predict that our higher end, especially at faculty, must move into these teachings and learning methods and reinforce the program. Okay, and of course, as I mentioned, we conducted some trainings. These are trainings that we conducted also put in by our own lecturers and professors from our faculty. The teamwork is very good in that time. And this is during 2020, really the Malaysia had a crisis of COVID-19, but we take that as an opportunity to produce so many innovations at that time. And of course, we also launched our undergraduate roadmap during the crisis. It looks like we're not ignoring or just forget about the crisis. The crisis is there. But then we actually speed up the process of it. And we thought that this is opportunity. Having totally at home is a benefit to everybody. Some of the professors, they thought that we are very, very productive at home compared to home as we came to the office and so on. And in UTM, we actually appreciate talent. In leadership and management or in management of higher talent is very, very important, especially if you are from the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities. We have to appreciate talent, and talent is the key to success. So when I was being given opportunity to lead the faculty, so I had to manage 203 academic staff and 111 of support staff. Then I have to talk about how to focus on talent. And at that moment, during COVID-19 pandemics, we focusing on people management. We try to focus on how to support our people to survive. I still remember that at that time, every month I have set a gathering with all faculty members through online to support how can they survive. Because some of your staff might be your spouse have no work anymore because of COVID-19 strike. Some of your husband or your wife working in the business, and of course the shops going to be closed, and then they're having financial challenges, and this is where they're back to the faculty. And I still remember during that time they are waiting for you anytime I set a gathering or a meeting with all the faculty members. Usually 100% will attend it. They are waiting for your motivation, support words, everything, and tell them what's to be done. So people development is very important during the crisis, and we need to support early. And at that moment also, we introduce 5 words to make sure that everybody is getting on calm, happy. We call it as ICSESS high, and stand for happy. We want everybody happy and happy. I'm not sure the movement of higher ed in Nigeria. In Malaysia, the movement of higher ed is a place where people level it as stress, working environment. I'm not sure in India, but now in Malaysia, most of the professors, they don't want to continue their term as a contract staff. They just want to retire as soon as possible. Early retirement is actually the trend nowadays in Malaysia. So when I introduced this as a part, and she's happy, we want everybody happy. We don't want only the top management happy. We want all the staff happy. And I said, Dean, I want to be happy. I don't want to be stressed, everything, and so on. The second word we actually try to transform the thinking and feelings of our staff is empathy. We want them to be empathy. They have to empathy towards me as a dean. I as a dean have to be empathy to them. It's not going to be a one-way of emphasis part. It's going to be two-way. Responsible. Everybody has to be responsible of their own work. I always inform my staff saying that I am empowered all of you totally. I trust you. Conducting the community regardless of your own way. Okay. As long as nobody tell me that you are not that in your class. If I receive any remarks from the student, then don't ever allow me to interrogate or to go beyond or cross the border of your class. It's your class. Take care of your class. This is where I really responsible managing tools. Tools. They have to be responsible. I also have to be responsible. Trust. I trust them, they trust me. Okay, and appreciate. Appreciate is very important. You need to give rewards to appreciate every single staff that you have in your department. Believe me on appreciate. If you recognize them, you try to appreciate them, they will be better in performing their works. I believe that totally. So with that, we have our roadmap for ICSESS planning development during the crisis. So we try to develop our staff from the imaging stage to developing and competence. The irony of leading and managing of university and higher ed, you are managing smart people. Totally the person that you try to manage you are actually PhD holder. You are smart, but it's not easy to manage smart people. So this fact, you need to know and to encourage everybody. Don't ever let anyone let you. Okay? And this is where the roadmap will help with the development of talent. And of course, we have this. And I always say that at the Faculty of Social Science and Humanities, peoples are only others. So I need to manage the people very well. So we have to manage them in terms of teaching and supervision, research and innovation, scholarly publication, consultancies, student development, and community service and academic leadership. This is a part of all the portfolios of those who join the IAM. So we need to make sure that they actually develop. And some of the programs that we conducted, we have our future ready educators program. So we have to give support, we have to empower these future ready educators. We conduct several support programs to make sure that everybody is actually equipped with all the knowledge. As a leader of any universities or department, you need to give support to your staff and equip all the knowledge and skills to all the staff. And after that, you can ask something back from the staff. Okay? And this is part of the talk show that we have. You can see that here, we empowered the young one here and to give their talk on their online learning experience, alternative assessment, and this student, and this is Dr. Inda. Okay, we call Dr. Inda at that moment to share students speak, surviving or leveraging online learning. Definitely student for it, every day of the month. And some parts of our big projects. At that moment, I introduced 10 high impact programs during our 2020 and 2021. This is a part of the programs that we conducted and some part of innovations when we did them. Okay. Of course, as a PhD holder, we don't have any experience to be a leader. I also don't have any experience to lead the faculty. I did not went through any proper training to do this. But you have to train yourself and attend some short courses and get prepared. Because when you're being appointed as a dean or in one semester, people are hoping at you. Please lead us. Okay? This is really a big challenge to those who actually lead the faculty. And some leadership committee remain just to share with you. when we talk about leadership in academia, is totally different from leading any business organization. Business organization is totally profit focused, but in academia, it's not totally profit. It's about people. It's about people. Of course, running a program, I need to make sure the program has good return of investment. But of course, the people is important. So when we talk about leadership in teaching and learning, is something like the formal leadership versus the non-formal leadership. What should be able to do as a leadership of teaching and learning is the ability to influence direction. You just need to use your psychological thinking and words to change one for access from not doing anything to going to do something. You just need to tackle their strength. Okay? And also about the culture is becoming visible and speaking up and learning leadership together. Remember, when you in a level as someone who already have a doctor degree, okay, credential, you are standing in front of people, so they are expecting that you are professional, you are leaders, okay, and you have to make sure that you have the ability to influence action. We must have a culture of leader among us and so on. And this is when I try to encourage in my faculty. Quality is everyone's responsibility, not only the responsibility of team. You don't ask me to focus on quality if you are not performing because of your teaching. So everybody has to know that one is everyone responsible. And being a lecturer, being a professor, you are actually a leader. And this, if you look at the leadership in academic management, we have here the middle management. Okay, most of you, I believe, will join the middle management when you're done having your PhD from UTM. Okay, of course, from time to time you will go to the top management, and you have here the lower management. So this is when you manage people, especially at the faculty, you have to tell them they are at the lower management in the academic management. They are at part of operational part. They have to assist you a lot. Something not going to be right here, the whole organization will collapse. Okay, that's why it's very important that simple persons of capacity departments and faculty they play. And UTM have our core values, as mentioned by Prof. Arif. We have synergy, we have integrity, we have excellence and sustainability. So don't actually and allow or let your momentum decrease when you graduated with your PhD. Don't ever think that, oh, I'll get to take a rest for 2 or 3 years. No. After you got your PhD, you have to boost up your energy, continue for having a higher levels of information, being appointed as assistant professor, being appointed as professor, as high as you. When to rest? When you go to the dark. When you done, when you rest. That is the nature of the reading. And I actually introduced one chapter talking about peer-led teaching, learning, research, administration, leadership framework. After 15 years being appointed as an academic administrator, so I thought that I would like to share some thought. How can you be a leader in learning? So one of the models that I use is the peer-led teaching, learning, research, administration, leadership framework. To be a good dean, to be a good vice chancellor, degree vice chancellor of academy, you have to make sure that you must be excellent in teaching. How are you going to stand in front of your academic staff if you are not a good teacher? You ask them to be a good teacher, but you don't want to listen complaints from students that you are not a good teacher. So that is really a big challenge, leading or leading the department. So you must be a good teacher. Then you must be a good researcher. You encourage them to apply for discipline. You as a dean cannot make any mistake. They can just easily check your HDF, isn't it? In scores, in the book. I have one forum. I attended one forum 3 years ago at the national level, which is my higher education level. In that forum, they invited some of the deans, the former vice chancellor. There's one thing vice chancellor says that he says that to be a leader in academia, you do not need to excel, you do not need to excel in research. I say in front of the advanced I said, no, Prof, I believe now if you want to lead a department, you must excel in teaching. Because if you do not do any research, you don't have any class, you don't publish in Q1, Q2 papers and so on, how can you encourage your subordinate to do that? You have to lead an example. Okay? Then another thing is that the administrations, we need to also focus on this. If you be appointed as a leader in higher ed, make sure that these 3 elements you have to be good. You have to lead yourself first, then you can lead others. That's the key points to be a good leader, excellent leader in higher ed. Okay? And what comprise the components of teaching and learning, and also administration and research. This one I introduced it based on my experience. Teaching and learning, we must be good in pedagogical capitals, assessment, delivery, while in administration, in the more social capitals, quality operation and talent development, because you have to lead others. And also in research, you have to be good in business intellect capitals, quality research, innovation, and productivity. So then it must be a practical and mutual among each other. Okay? That's the key point to survive as an academic leader. And of course, the importance of leadership in learning and teaching is something like you lead self-sustainable value, you have to be adaptive, you have to have a learning mindset, you have to be thinking. Okay, don't ever lead a department saying that I will not manage it, no new thing. No, you have to be thinking and self-reflection. And then you can lead others sustainable value, research, you start to empower. You start to make your subordinate strategy on everything, future oriented and resilient. At certain point, in 2021, I think in the middle of 2021, because I know that I just want, I'm already informed to the university that I only want, if you ask me, yeah, they asked me to take a couple of things in 2019, say that it's going to the temporary time, I just going to have a couple of things about 3 years. And that's why I say in 2022, no, because after 15 years, approaching at the age of 50 years old this year, so I thought that I would have to focus on other things. Okay? And then I believe 15 years have been appointed as academic administrator. I've been helped a lot, and I believe this is the time, another 5 to 6 years to go before my retirement. I need to focus on other things. And this is where when on September 2022, I think the UC also respects my decision, and the new date has been appointed. But what I can see that within this October and November, I believe that everybody they know what they're going to do for the community. And no need for the new leaders or what to lead, because they know what they should do. This is what we need to do in Thailand. And in organization learns only through individuals learn. And individual learning does not guarantee organizational learning, but without it, no organizational learning occurs. So every single person in a higher ed is an asset. The junior will be graduating soon and already got your PhD, you are an asset to Nigeria country, and also an asset to Malaysia. Remember that. Okay? And with that, graduating on time is your aim. Okay? Why? Some of you might be saying, why I need to hear this? Why do I need to think about my country? Why do I need to think about my news? Okay? Why do after I have to finish my PhD, I have to lead some, I have to hold some admin posts and so on. This is some of my legacy journeys, which is actually first I'm also reluctant to hold any academic position. In 2004, I've been appointed as a programs coordinators, IT managers, and then of course the head PG coordinators, head of departments of PG studies. I've been appointed as the deputy dean of the faculty at the age of 30 years old. Wow. For the professor, you know what the words they say to me? I say thank you very much. Okay, so what I need to do that. Okay, and then of course after that in 2009 and 2010, I joined School of Business Study. At that moment, okay, some of you know Professor Rosalinda. She was the dean of the various schools at the moment, so she said, Zena, you need to come to the various schools, help us to manage the social science and humanities program. And after that, I took a break 2 years from 2011 and 2012. I sent a resignation letter to my censor, say that give me 2 years to focus on my research. Because I lost everything. Starting from this 2004 to 2010, 6 years, I need to catch up everything. At this 2010, I just hold as professor post. I asked the Vice Chancellor, can you give me a break 2 years? Because I need to focus on professor. You need to satisfy yourself first. Then, yeah, we agree. Alhamdulillah, that is the jump. Okay, so I took a break 2 years, and after that I went for my Umrah, first Umrah. When I just back from my Umrah, March 2013, I arrived at KRA Airport, and suddenly I on people, I will be appointed as a dean of the School of Business. Okay, without asking me, they did not ask me anything. You know what the Vice Chancellor said? 2 years I didn't do it. Now it is very soon. Then I did the various schools, 2013, 2019. I was the dean, the chair, and also the chair of the Malaysian Graduate Dean Council for Malaysia. So I need to lead the path and the roadmap of Malaysian Higher Ed during that time. So I took the challenge to really create experience because I know everyone's at the ministry, so it's very good networks. And after that, I just have a break about 6 months from the post of Dean of School of Business Studies, then being appointed again as the Dean of the faculty for 3 years. But I think that's enough. 15 years, that's enough. Okay? Because I need to focus on other things. Along the way, Alhamdulillah, from 2004 to 2022, I managed to supervise and over, I think last 2 days, my 35 PhD student graduated. If you focus on others, I think this thing is focus on others, not the others. All will actually protect you and make sure that you will get the energy and so on within that 15 years. I never believe that in these 15 years I can do so many things. This is almost 2 months that I don't have any position. So people are, what do you do, Zaida at home? Sleep. I took my good sleep. Okay, I just rest. I just focus on my students, and they are so happy. I recruit new students, I supervise the students because I believe this is what you should do. Okay, so trust on Allah, when you focus on others, Allah will protect you in all the missions that you are doing. Okay, so next, this is one of the UPN alumni. Okay, Professor Anis has been appointed as the director of the University of Jaya. So why leadership in academia is important, remember, it's only took me 2 years after getting to a PhD and they asked me to go academic administrative position. I believe you, all of you here, when you just graduated from your PhD, you arrive at Nigeria, and then of course your bosses will call you back. Okay, 2 days I appoint you as a head of department. Okay, this is Professor Anis, our alumni from UPN, was appointed as the director of the University of Jaya. Then we have, I think some of you know, Dr. Hayatu Umar, CD, graduated in the Doctor of Chemical Engineering, now is a head of department of Chemical Engineering at the Polytechnic in Nigeria. Okay, just finished the PhD, been appointed as one of the academic administrator at this university. I still remember Dr. Jibril, okay, has been appointed for the deep position, okay, and so Hatta, I remember Hatta very much when I was at ICSESS. I've been appointed also as a director of ICT for Andros.
Yeah.
So the time will come. Okay, all of you will be appointed soon after you finish your PhD. This is where creativity, innovation, thinking must go. And you already have all the skills. If not, how can you graduate the PhD? Although you graduate the PhD, not in the area of higher ed, leadership in higher ed, but the process that you went through in doing your PhD, the systematic process, critical thinking, and everything, that's the skills that needed to be a leader in higher ed. Okay? So, adapting, learn mindset, risk-taking, self-reflection, this is all the 4 sustainable leadership values that we need, that you need to make sure that you have it. If you actually have it during your study, you're doing your PhD, you have this kind of 4 sustainable values, then of course you can survive successfully in your study. And expectation, okay, of course, being appointed as a leader, some people say that I need work-life balance. Yes, of course. And work-life balance will be there. And work-life balance is part of it. Okay? But this is where leaders, especially, are the ones who are willing to give up something of it. When you be appointed as a leader, you need to sacrifice. Okay? It's not about you, it's about others. Okay? And their time, their energy, your money, your energy, everything you need to give it to your subordinate. And you choose to be enough. Okay? That's why when you decide that leaders choose to be enough, you have to make sure that you already achieve certain excellent or high achievement level for yourself. Okay, that's why I took 2 years break. Remember, in 2010, I took 2 years break for me to focus on my full professorship. Okay, because it's not right. If you be appointed as a dean and suddenly you are not actually achieve your personal expectation in your life, you will tend not to practice leader choose to be once. Okay? And of course, it's not the genius. It's not the genius at the top giving direction that make people great. It's a great people that makes the guy at the top looks like a genius. I always say to myself that you are the one who makes me function very well, not me myself. And of course, be a leader that can give others a good reason to commit themselves to duty and each other. So this is what I've been through when I've been appointed as the dean of the various schools during the COVID time. I totally feels that I should give my 200% of it, because when I see my vice chancellor is the one who really put full commitment on it, as his staff, I need also to give my commitment. Okay? This is where you need to give, for example. If your dean is the one who attend and encourage everybody, of course others will follow. Okay? And how far can you sacrifice? How far can you sacrifice? Okay? This is a story of everybody knows, everybody, somebody, anybody, anybody. Okay? So when you actually be appointed as a leader, you will see the two colors of people around you. Okay? My life principle is so simple. If there is nobody wants to do it, I'm going to do it. Then you have to follow it as a leader. Then they will ask. Yes, they have to follow. So that's why at the faculty, when we embark into open distance learning program, the first semester they actually open the program. Some of the professors say that they don't want to teach open distance learning program because the classes is actually at 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. and it's actually during the day. They did not get extra payment for that. It's part of their work, teaching work. They say that they don't want to teach it. First semester, I heard they say that they want extra payment. So what I did is that, coming to the second semester, I volunteered teaching open distance learning program. I need to experience it as a leader. If I experience it, with the limited leisure time that I have, I need to experience it first. Let me try to experience it and observe it. Is it true that it's not really it's really challenging or not? So I taught ODL open distance learning program 3 semesters. And when they see, when they observe that the dean is actually teaching open distance learning program, and I also manage everything, then it's just recorded. I say, okay, this is what my approach is that I will try first. They don't let the subordinate as first. So if there is nobody who like to do it, I say, I will do it. And when I say I will do it, you can see someone in the hall is trying to do something. Okay, people, I will need to help you. People, I will need to help you. So that's how you have to do. Because remember, if you introduce new ideas, if there is nobody want to do it, you want the one who's going to do it. And other people will go. Okay? And this is a part of it that ready for the meeting, ready for change, ready for participation, and ready for this. Okay? This is when if you lead the university, and this is part of the readiness matrix that you can actually do. My area is not about leadership in higher ed. Okay? My area, my field is about computer science education. I need to learn everything here when I'm appointed as a leader because I'm managing people. Okay? So take home message, you can be a leader even if you are not the deputy deans or the dean of the faculty, because when you are professors, you are lecturers, you are leaders. Trust, alignment, and empowerment are the keys. When you be appointed as leader of your department, you need to trust your faculty. You need to empower, okay? And communicate for a common objective, acknowledge people, work with resistance, and be a model for others. Another one, be bold and be be strong. Be bold and be strong. Okay? And talking about bold leadership, some people label me as a bold leader. Okay? So to be a bold leadership, also you don't need to have passion. To be a bold leader, you don't have the best friend. Okay? Because you have to enforce everybody. You have a best friend, then they say that, oh, because of that person is the best friend of the team, that's why I'm being promoted. Okay? So, bold leadership is not about title, position, or power. No. Bold leadership is about peace. You challenge the status quo. Okay? You engage with bold and different ideas. You build on the followership and cultivate trust. You lead by example. You speak authentically about your experience. Okay? Especially to create excitement among stakeholders. Selflessness and totally work for others. Create other leaders that support each other. A bold leader open door opportunity. That is bullish. Okay? And it's actually aligned with the definition of money. Money is that if you look at the Arabic words of Zayda, it's a warrior. Never give up. I want more. I don't want to, I want more. If I get one, I will pay. That's it. Okay? So, in short, a bold leader is a relatable figures who can rally people together and capitalize on the strength of each one to achieve their common goal. So I will go leading the faculty as a dean, so I would like to make sure that everybody will have to achieve the goal. Okay? And last but not least, everybody who ever experienced watch this movie, the Three Idiot movie? Anyone? No? It's an Indian movie, the Three Idiot movie. After this very funny, it's related to high end. If you watch this movie, in the darkest of time, because being the notion being a thing of department, you feel alone. Okay? Nobody would like to join you during breakfast, lunch, and so on. So in the darkest time, remember in this movie of Three Idiots, Rancho is actually the one of the actors in this movie. It says that take your hand, put it over your heart, and say all is well. And because at that moment I remember this Farhan is actually attending an interview. Okay, so it's all is well. And Rancho asked Farhan, so that day I understood that this heart scares easily. You have to trick it. However big the problem is, tell your heart all is well. That's how you do it. And you can do this and practice this for your teaching. Okay? Even though it's so hard to do it, but you have to tell your heart that you can do it. Tell your mind that you can do it. So, and that's not the problem Raju is asking. One of the actors, Raju, asking, is that not the problem? Rancho mentions that no, but you give the courage to do it. So that's why when you going to face your Bible, you do your study, or you be appointed as an academic administrator, remember you have to have your guts, stand in front of others, because if you not showing the leadership and interest amount for somebody, how can they going to believe on you to do them? Okay? That's all. Thank you very much. I hope some of the innovations that I will share is a real life examples that I went through as academic administrators in 2004. And if you ask me, the big challenge that I faced when I was at the dean of the faculty 3 years, every single day I remember it, because it's not easy managing smart people. They tend to test you everything. With that, thank you very much. And my training session,
Is that all we can do? I believe we can do better. These are life transforming situations. It's an encouraging, very innovative. It's a journey that's passed so many years that we need to learn. It's full of innovation, creativity, and a lot of enterprise. The one key that strikes out is her definition of the PhD. He said they are smart people. So if you are here, you are doing, you can put that together for each other with this. I don't know which one will be now. We're supposed to go on deep break, but we have few people online, people are waiting. More importantly, is from our paper is the identification of talent. Our paper identifying the issue of the talent management, some of the things she was able to do during the COVID. I know in a moment she will be responding to one or two questions. So she'll still do with us for the next session. So please reserve all your comments. We'll move straight away for the tea break. The next 5-10 minutes we'll return here. She'll attend to our questions, our contributions. I will speak together, and then she will share the questions. Thank you very much. Please let's put our hands together for each other as we go through. Thank you so much. Those of you watching us online, please, we are going on the break, and then we will return. Tell them now. Are you not the protocol officer? What you say, teach people how long you want to be like what? Correct. It's not I don't do
So please, who are these people presenting? So I don't waste professor's time.
No, you know, you come now, we just all them started.
No, we don't want to call them. I need to know them because
We have contacted them.
Are they online?
Yes, Zego will be online. Adamu said she will present. Israel will present.
You understand what happened yesterday?
Forget it, they are all here.
Don't say forget it. If you're going to be here, I don't want to be running like headless chicken. Let me contact them now. Well, you understand what I'm saying, right? Like go here. You're not ready. Yeah, because if someone cannot sit here. No, like I want to know who are they and whether they are standing. No, even if you don't want to present.
I'll present online. I'll present online because I have a conference.
Okay, where are you going to? You are going now?
Yeah, okay. And that because I was signed as one of the.
Okay, no problem.
And I had a
No problem. No, don't worry about the channel. We are not using the channel.
I'm saying this.
Okay, I understand.
So I'll present my paper online. So how can we schedule it? Because I'm going to
Just go on. Get ready. Get ready and connect.
Yeah, you should go and connect. Okay. Okay. There's a charging point.
Okay. Yes, 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 yes.
Hello?
Who is Diego? Hello?
I'm here. I'm listening to you.
Please share your screen. Just a moment. Don't worry. I'll instruct that one. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Please, can you share your screen?
Okay.
And
I'll do it for you.
Can you see it?
yes, we can see it.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, Susan. Session.
Go ahead with your presentation.
Okay.
Yes, your time started. You have 7 minutes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. All protocols duly observed. I am Susanna Ibrahim Zego, a PhD student of the Built Environmental Surveying of the Transport Planning Department, specializing in supply chain management. The title of my paper is Probable Criteria for Improving Cold Chain Service Providers' Performance in the Fast-Moving Consumer Goods Industry in Nigeria. The content I'll be presenting today will have the following flow from introduction to recommendations. The fast-moving consumer goods industry in Nigeria is a very dynamic industry that contributes significantly to the Nigerian GDP. The industry supplies products that are mostly highly temperature sensitive and perishable in nature. This industry also satisfies the needs of the household and industrial consumer on a daily basis. However, due to poor preservation and storage processes, this industry also records huge losses annually. Annually, Nigeria loses about 40% of its total food production, which also impacts 9.1% of the Nigerian GDP. And this food losses also is recorded, especially in the vegetable food chain, where about 40 to 50% is lost on yearly basis. Now, these losses can be minimized if cold chain technologies are adopted according to Shashi. Cold chain operations are temperature control logistic operations. And these operations are mainly targeted to provide safe, effective products to consumers. But however, these products cannot be provided if certain infrastructure or working tools are not available. So having successful cold chain impacts the society, and certain variables must be available for cold chain activities to be carried out successfully. This includes having right infrastructure, policies, skilled personnel, adequate finance, material handling and storage, and distribution management processes in place. Cold chain activities also cannot be carried out successfully without the services of the service providers. The service providers are very key in ensuring that cold chain activities are carried out in a seamless manner. These service providers ensure that they manage the transshipment of products in a well-coordinated manner, ensure that they preserve product in a manner that the shelf life is maintained and quality is offered to the customer at all times. And the array of service providers include the following: product producers, government and private regulators, transporters, banks and insurance companies, research institutions, wholesalers and retailers. Now, this cold chain operations is very diverse. There are so many activities that are involved in ensuring successful cold chain operations take place, from transportation, material handling, customer protection, risk management, product monitoring and evaluation, etc. The state of cold chain in Nigeria. Cold chain in Nigeria is private sector driven and is characterized by insufficient capacity, poor coordination of service providers. Furthermore, there is no adequate temperature monitoring and maintenance technology in place to cater for cold chain needs. And also the issues of unskilled personnel, poor regulatory framework, and poor technology is also eminent in the Nigerian cold chain industry. Other challenges that Nigeria is facing in current times include issues of food insecurity, which is a critical problem that Nigeria is trying to solve. Nigeria is presently ranked as the 96th out of 113 global food insecure countries. Nigeria is also ranked as the 10th most malnourished country in the world, and about 94% of food losses are being attributed to lack of cold chain operations in place. Nigeria is also faced with issues of insecurity, and the unemployment rate as of 2020 is about 33%. Now, based on the needs of the Sustainable Development Goal, second agenda, to eliminate food hunger and malnutrition, it is very apt for Nigeria to adopt cold chain technologies, because this will help in solving the food insecurity crisis Nigeria is facing right now. The methodology adopted for this presentation is 4 stages: preliminary study, bibliometric analysis, systematic literature review, through deductive approach. Based on the reviewed literature on cold chain performance in Nigeria, literature revealed that the cold chain operations in Nigeria is faced with inadequate capacity to cater for the diverse needs that exist. And there are no cutting-edge technology that are sufficient for monitoring temperature control and tracking of even cold chain products. Then there are weak policy guidelines in place. Service innovation is not particularly very, very effective because of the limitations in this industry. Then there are also poor state of infrastructure, poor state of technology. There's limited financial and human resource available to support the industry. And there is also poor temperature control mechanism and insufficient storage capacity to meet the growing demand in the country. Based on all these revelations by literature, it can be seen that there exists a performance gap between inadequacy and sustainable quality service delivery in the cold chain industry in Nigeria. Now, based on the preliminary study and systematic review done, studies of Aso, Yan, and Chuku revealed that cold chain activities can be carried out successfully if basic probable criteria are provided. These criteria include the following: policy statements, technology, skilled personnel, financial support, infrastructure, that is both physical and digital, then research and development. Once these are in place, cold chain can be done successfully in Nigeria. And once cold chain operations are done successfully in Nigeria, there is a lot that Nigeria can gain. Through adoption of cold chain and improvement of cold chain operations in Nigeria, the problems of food losses will be minimized. There will be improved shelf life for product. Quality products will be delivered to consumers. There will be improved standardization. There will be increase in employment. Food insecurity issues will also be solved. There will be growing opportunities in businesses for people who are thinking of indulging in that industry. There will be also be growth of small and medium scale enterprises. Conclusion, the Nigerian population and environment is very ideal for cold chain operations because Nigeria is in need of solution to solve the food insecurity crisis is facing right now. However, from literature review, the probable criteria such as effective infrastructure, technology, skilled personnel, funds must be available for cold chain operations to strive in Nigeria. And once cold chain operations strive in Nigeria, challenges of food insecurity will be resolved, product shelf life will be improved, quality products will be consumed by the Nigerian public, and there will be growth of small and medium scale enterprises, and it will also create avenue to create jobs and end insecurity crisis because people that are idle will have opportunity to be gainfully employed in this industry. Lastly, recommendation. It is therefore recommended that government should invest in cold chain development through policy formulation, infrastructure development, provision of varieties of funding options for cold chain service providers to explore. Government should also partner with the private sector to develop, to carry out research and carry out research that will give them a variety of options on what type of technology and what type of infrastructure to build in order to support the cold chain industry. And cold chain service providers too can also engage in carrying out research too, in seeing how they can improve the methods of their service delivery based on global best practices. Then further research on this topic can be exploited based on region requirement because cold chain operations differ from region to region. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Susanna, for your presentations. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. First of all, congratulations. I believe your titles is very interesting because it's actually aligned with one of the focus of the SDG, which is actually specifically SDG number 2, which is actually zero hunger. My question is that from your research finding, what is your future planning on the application of your research findings into your countries or other any I think unit that can actually take up your findings so that they can actually apply your research finding to the real setting? What do you plan on it?
I plan on developing a conceptual framework that will be utilized in the industry to improve service delivery and create avenue for evolving new discoveries that can be inculcated in future service deliveries as well.
For studies,
I can't.
So your study actually reach up to which level? Is it you already finished your study or you're still collecting some additional data?
I'm still collecting additional data.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so might be one suggestion, okay, because from your presentation, I can see that you use systematic literature review methods. That's a very good methods to identify the probable criteria. But if you can, if you have time, if you can add additional data collection methods just to verify your systematic literature review finding, if you can proceed with focus group discussions among the people who involved in cold chain surveys and process, which is actually if you can conduct a focus group discussion among them to verify your finding from the systematic literature review, then your finding will be solid enough, and might be also from the focus group discussion, you will actually explore new criteria, which is actually not been mentioned by the previous research. That's my suggestion.
Thank you, Doctor, for the suggestion. Thank you, Prof. I appreciate it.
Okay. And another suggestion is that you already have your systematic literature review finding. Come up with a model on, you have the criteria, don't just identify the criteria, but then put them in a diagram. How does the criteria connected among each other? Then you can come up with a beautiful frameworks of models towards the cold chain process or services in the Nigeria. Okay.
Thank you, Prof. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All the best for your study.
Thank you.
Please, can you stop sharing your screen? Okay. Who's the next person? Is he going to present on his laptop or
Yes.
Okay. What's his name? Let me see. On his mic.
On your mic now.
Or Aziz? No, wait, can you say? What's the name of your laptop?
Look at him, Wasif is there. That's the one that has his.
Hello? Okay, I can start my presentation.
Can you start? Yes, you can start. You have 7 minutes.
Okay. All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I would like to thank you for the opportunity given to me to present my paper. My name is Abdulwasiu Adebayo Aziz. I'm presenting a paper titled The Effect of Peer Instruction on Teaching and Learning of Technical Drawing in Nigeria Colleges of Education Technical. It's an experimental research work that tried to compare the use of peer instruction with a conventional method. The need to embark on this study emanates from the fact that it has been discovered over the time that students have been failing technical drawing. And several reasons were advanced for failing of a technical drawing. And because of the importance of technical drawing to engineering, technology, and technical education program, failure in technical drawing will amount to a lot of non-achievement of objectives in all these areas. And studies have shown that study identify reasons why students are failing technical drawing. Some of the reasons advanced for failures of a technical drawing include ineffective teaching facilities that are common in most of the schools, student poor background knowledge of technical drawing, and a poor learning environment. And another problem happens to be ineffective teaching methods. Out of all these problems, ineffective teaching method was identified as the major problem affecting the teaching and learning of technical drawing. And the reason why ineffective teaching method becomes the chief problem affecting learning of technical drawing happens to be that the teacher is the key factor in the teaching and learning process. If the teacher is ineffective, definitely if you have the right environment, you have the right teaching facilities, that alone cannot ensure effective teaching of technical drawing. So we are going to look at the ineffective teaching methods, how it impacts teaching and learning of technical drawing. Now, studies have shown that the methods that are used for teaching technical drawing in Nigeria, 95% rely on teacher-centered method. And the teacher-centered methods only provided students with a basic skills. It doesn't impacted higher order thinking skills to students. And 10% of teachers uses student-centered methods. And studies have shown that for a teacher to attain an objective in a skill-intensive program, time allocated for teaching must be 15% of the allocated time must be devoted to explanations that the lecture method can take care of. 25% must be devoted to demonstration and 60% to guided practice. And if you look at teacher-centered method, the whole time is devoted to explanation. And explanation alone cannot guarantee effective instruction in technical drawing. It must have to include demonstration and guided practice. So because of that, the learning process is only allowed to take care of the simple aspect of education that has to do with knowledge only. But the sense-making aspect of that knowledge is not being taken care of. Because of that, many studies have shown the need to embrace student-centered learning that will allow learners to climb the two steps of learning that involve knowledge and sense-making of that knowledge. Now, purpose of this study, number one is to determine, okay, now, out of the student-centered learning that has been approved for teaching, for effective teaching, there are many types of student-centered learning, but this study favors peer instructions. Peer instruction has been used effectively for teaching physics, chemistry, and recently it has been extended to teaching of engineering courses. And many of these applications of peer instruction has been used for teaching factual knowledge aspect of courses. It has not been extended to where it is required conceptual understanding and knowledge that has to do with procedural knowledge. So in this case now, we want to extend it to technical drawing to see if it will impact the teaching of technical drawing. Now, the purpose of this study includes, number one, to determine if peer instruction for TD instruction will impact students' pattern visualization ability more than conventional methods. Number two, to examine if peer instruction for TD instruction will affect student learning strategy more than traditional method. Number three, to investigate if peer instruction for TD instruction will significantly impact student problem-solving ability more than conventional method. Number four, to determine if peer instruction for TD teaching will affect student affective and cognitive idea more than traditional methods. Now, this study will adopt a two-group pretest, post-test, quasi-experimental design. And in the pretest, it will make use of TDAT. It is a special design instrument by the researcher and learning strategy survey. The two will be applied to the two groups. Those in experimental group will be taught through the use of peer instruction, and those in control group will be taught through conventional methods. Now, with the pretest examination, it was discovered that there is no difference between the ability of those in control group and experimental group. Now, after the treatment, when students are exposed to either peer instruction and control and conventional method, it was discovered that students in the experimental group taught by peer instruction attain higher gain more than those in the conventional methods. Now, this research took place in the Kwara State Colleges of Education, Lafayette. The study population consisted of 58 first-year students in Kwara State College of Education, Technical, Lafayette, as a 2021 academic section. Then the researchers randomly included a total of 32 students. Then they were divided into two groups, 16 in experimental group and 16 in control group. Then the pretest data, as I've said earlier, shows significant difference in the mean score of control group and the EG group. Now, this is the operation procedure for those in the instructions. It will include brief lectures. It will include concept tests. There will be need for development of concept tests. Then there will be need to determine how the lecture will progress. But if the attainment is above 70, it means they have mastered the course. If it is less than 70, then it will have to enter the program into peer discussion. And if it is less than 30%, it means the teacher will have to reteach the subject again. Now, data collections. Several tools were developed to collect data, like TDACs, like learning strategies of it based on pictures, like a student evaluation questionnaire, and TD examination based on textbook problems. Now, the analysis is based on descriptive statistics and a formula developed by 1998 that has to do with fractional gain, pre-test, post-test, and ANOVA is used. So the result shows that during the pre-test time, there are no significant difference in the learning gains of a student in experimental and a control group. But after the treatment, those in experimental group taught by peer instructions were able to achieve higher learning gain more than their counterpart in the control group, as you can see in the table. And the specific results show that those in experimental group perform better in their learning strategy more than their counterpart in traditional method. Then the study again shows that peer instruction for TD teaching significantly impact on student affective and cognitive ideas in experimental group. Conclusion is that having seen the result of this experiment, the researcher now recommend a total shift from the teacher-centered learning method, peer instructions that has to do with the student-centered learning method. Then the need for a change stems from peer instruction ability to improve the spatial visualization that is important to learning of a technical drawing and learning strategy of a student that is improved through this method. Then problem-solving ability of students that is equally improved through this method, and motor skill that is important to learning of technical drawing that is improved through this method. One is comfortably recommending that there should be a shift from the traditional method to the method that is research-based. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. This is Brian. Thank you, Mr. Aziz. Can you go back to your research objective?
Objectives.
Or your research question? First of all, it's a very interesting title, peer instructions, and it's actually aligned and relevant.
Okay, purpose of the study.
Yeah, the purpose of the study. Okay. My question is that you have quite numbers of variables here.
Yes.
First, you have spatial visualization ability.
Yes.
Next, you have learning strategies.
Yes.
Next, you have problem-solving abilities.
Yes.
And next, you have effective and connecting ideas.
Yes.
So, I'm wondering, which is actually the main focus of your research?
The main focus is to determine whether peer instruction really improve teaching of technical drawing better than the conventional methods.
From which perspective? Is it from problem-solving perspective or spatial visualization?
Yes, yes.
Or
from the perspective of a visualization, from the perspective of problem solving, from the perspective of a learning strategy.
Because this is just my humble opinions that there are too many variables.
All right.
Okay. When there are too many variables, because in PhD research you must focus which is your main contribution.
Okay.
Okay. For example, you have your pre and post test.
Yes.
That pre and post test is focusing on which variable?
Yes.
Which variable? Is it focusing on problem solving? Is it focusing on learning strategy?
No, the pre-test is to check their entry behavior, the ability they bring in. Maybe they have core ability, or that is the main focus. So that when we're distributing them into experimental and control groups, so that there will be no
the pre and post
disadvantage.
test is just to identify
Yes.
their prior knowledge.
Yes, prior
and
knowledge.
technical drawing.
Yes.
Okay, then can you go to the next slide where you mentioned that you are using ANOVA?
Okay.
Okay. There's one slide that you mentioned that you are using ANOVA. Methods, I think. No, not that. You go down.
Down.
Go down.
Yes.
Okay. These methods of data analysis ANOVA, because you did not reach up to the data collection yet, isn't it?
Now I've collected data.
You already collected data?
Yes, what I did is to expose some students to peer instruction. Then the other group were exposed to conventional methods.
Yes, but why ANOVA?
What I feel is that maybe if one cannot decide, then we use ANOVA to.
Usually, okay, that's why I'm asking it. If you look back your research objectives,
Right.
Okay, you have one is spatial visualization. Then you have the learning strategies. You are using LSSS.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have the effective and connective ideas.
Okay.
Then you have the what another one? The problem solving abilities.
Yes. Yes.
So when you run ANOVA, you should not run ANOVA, because usually in quasi-experimental research, to reduce the effects of pre-testing towards the post-test result, we are using ANCOVA. Or, that's why I'm asking it, if all these 4 variables, spatial visualization, learning strategies, effective connective ideas, and problem solving, because you have 5 variables, if these 5 variables is actually all you will be tested before and after the treatment, then the right analysis will be MANCOVA. It's a multivariate. That's correct, but not ANOVA. Yeah, but then I still have concern on with quite too many variables. Okay, you need to relate it between one objective and another. Okay, but it's very good research to proceed. Okay, thank you.
Second person, right? Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Usman, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
So share your screen and we'll hear you in a bit.
Okay, I hope he has to stop sharing his screen so that I can share mine too.
Okay, stop sharing. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, can you see my screen now? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Sorry. So you have 7 minutes, you can go on now.
Okay, so assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My part of the research I'm doing here, this is just a part of it, the road traffic breakdown bibliometric analysis. So this work is just showing how we can use bibliometric analysis in order to get data for road traffic breakdown. So basically, the contents here I'm going to share include understanding the traffic breakdown definition, the causes and the measures, then the bibliometric analysis, and then the method to use, and then the biblioshiny, and then the traffic breakdown analysis with biblioshiny. So basically, the traffic breakdown, we use speed to identify the traffic breakdown. When the speed decreases between 2 consecutive time interval, and then we also define a threshold. And then if this speed drops below this threshold, then we can say that traffic breakdown has occurred. The traffic breakdown is actually used to identify the early start of traffic congestion. So that is how important it is, because it helps us to come up with intelligent transport systems that we can use to curtail the traffic breakdown. Also, there are several causes that result in traffic breakdown. We have breakdown occurring near a bottleneck. The bottleneck is maybe when you have like most of the situation that we have in Nigeria, you have market days, you have Friday prayers, you have churches that causes a breakdown of the road as a result of the activities going on. So these are examples of the bottleneck situation. Then also there is also the issue of road geometry, such as in the design of the road, you could have lane drops, and then also the design speed as it changes, also it can cause traffic breakdown. High density, when there are too many vehicles on the road, it tends to make drivers to engage in so many activities like changing of their lanes, even the car following, that is a car that is in front of the other, it begins to increase on, change the gap. There's what we call the spacing and the gap. So as a result of high density, there's variation in all these activities that result also in traffic breakdown. Then also incidents like accidents happen on the road. It causes also traffic breakdown. When we have this result of traffic breakdown, it leads us to systems that we can use to be able to curtail it. For example, the ramp metering. The ramp is an entry part of a road on a highway. So using a ramp metering can also control this traffic breakdown. When we identify it, we can use things like ramp metering. And then land use management can also help us to be able to manage the number of vehicles that traverse a certain section of the road. Then travelers information and guidance systems. When we know specifically the time when traffic breakdown occurs on the road, we can be able to give drivers information on certain routes they can avoid so that there won't be jam parking of these vehicles on specific road. And then of course, the variable speed limits also helps us to control the speed limits on the road so that there won't be traffic breakdown. Now, relating this to the main theme of this particular workshop, we will find out that in traffic engineering, we found out that most of the COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in a lot of problems regarding public transport systems. So you have people contacting COVID-19 as a result of long-term stay on the road as a result of traffic breakdown. Okay, so it is important that such studies are carried out in order for us to be able to create traffic management methods to deal with the situation. All right, but for a start now, it is unclear how the scientific publications in this area has progressed. So this focus of this presentation is on coming out with all the scientific publications that have been carried out that relates to this traffic breakdown so that we can be able to know who is doing what on the traffic breakdown study so that we can be able to get the journals. So the bibliometric analysis is used to find out the trends in articles and journals. You'll be able to generate a lot. And then it also helps us to build the foundation to advance the study in a specific field. So we'll be able to use the Web of Science to retrieve documents on traffic breakdown. This is the link for the documents that we're able to use. And then it also includes the exclusion of unrelated categories. So we ended up with 394 results. After doing that, we were able to use the BiblioShiny, which is an interface in the RStudio, to be able to have an analysis of the documents. Okay, so this is the procedure. Once you are able to get the documents, you will move it now to the BiblioShiny using the command library bibliometrics. So, and what is important to note is that in the BiblioShiny, you will need to use a text file. So we use the text file, all the documents, we downloaded them as a text file, raw from the Web of Science to import into the BiblioShiny. And what we did, the analysis that we did was on the development in the traffic breakdown study, the number of citations. We also used the Sankey diagram to be able to give us the number of papers that were published, and then the sources of the studies. So the development, the growth in the traffic breakdown study showed us that we can see that there is a general growth. In fact, we were able to get 12.5% growth rate, annual growth rate in the study of traffic breakdown using the BiblioShiny. And then we also have, we're able to derive the citations that were used. Okay, how many authors were citing the others, who is the most cited author, and then we're able to get the average citation per year. You can see that the average citation per year keeps on increasing, right? This is ranging from 1988 down to 2021. Okay, it's increasing like that. Okay, then we went further to do the Sankey diagram to be able to give us the authors and the areas where they are publishing. You can see that somebody like, this is not very clear. Okay, we can see Kena Boris is mostly on three-phase theory of traffic breakdown. So there are different types of theory that are used. Sometimes the traffic breakdown study is carried out using the car following. Some are using the normal two-phase traffic flow fundamental diagram. So this actually helps us to find out the areas where the authors are publishing the results. So this is the, okay, then we have, of course, the sources of the traffic breakdown study. And we discovered that the statistical mechanics, okay, has more areas where the authors publish their findings. Then also we were able to find out the authors, which of the author is most significant in terms of publishing of articles in the traffic breakdown. So we did the fractional authorship, and we were able to find Kena Boris. But the fractional authorship is only an individual author's contribution. So we went further again to do the author's impact. The author's impact, the H index, the G index, help us to know exactly the greatest author in terms of being cited locally and internationally. So that also helped us to find out, and we've discovered that Mahmasani is the one who is producing more documents in traffic breakdown that are more relevant, so that we can focus our attention in that direction. Okay, so basically in concluding, we find out that traffic breakdown study has gradually, steadily increased from 1988 to 2021. There are also keywords that are used in traffic breakdown study, like the three-phase theory, the traffic theory theory, and the car following, variable speed limits, etc. And then Mahasami is the person whose publication is more pertinent to the application of traffic breakdown. This research is actually funded by the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology under the vote number this. That is all I have. Thank you very much for listening and giving me the opportunity to present my part of my research here.
Thank you, Brother Osman, for the presentations. I believe you're using the relevant data analysis methods. This is actually bibliometric analysis.
Thank you.
And of course, the bibliometric analysis is totally a quantitative method. Yeah. What I would like to suggest is that try to look from the angles a little bit on the qualitative part from the findings from bibliometrics analysis. What do I mean by that is that you identify few findings there, very relevant findings, but then try to look into in depth towards the paper, towards the articles, try to answer why a little bit. Okay? But you do not need to collect a qualitative data. But what you can do is that if you zoom in into like for example, why actually the trend of research in traffic, road traffic breakdowns has been increased from certain years, but not in other years. Maybe you can actually try to read other articles that try to support why actually the trends has been increased and so on. That's my suggestion. I like the way that you use the Sankey diagram way that you try to visualize your finding, but you can actually use other kinds of visualization software to produce something like a bubble graph to show that in certain years the bubbles or the focus of the research in road traffic breakdowns has been increased in certain factors, but might be not increased on other factors and so on. That's part of my suggestion. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Only 2 minutes. Done. Were you going to present it last?
What's it? On your camera. What's the name of your?
What's the ID of your paper?
Is there? I'm there now.
Okay, share.
Come also. Okay.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, the chairperson and my colleagues. My paper is titled "The Place of Spatio-Temporal in Spatial Data Modeling." We shall be looking at this paper from aspect of introduction, our goal, the methodology, conceptual framework, the model, conclusion, and future studies. What is cadastral? Cadastral model makes efficient and successful the creation of cadastral system. And what is cadastral system? Is the documentation of information, both spatial and non-spatial, in an organized manner. Now you discover that the land itself The land itself is divided into dry land and the watered area. So our concentration will be on the water area. And I want us to realize that when you want to document items on the land, it is easier to count and pinpoint because they are stationary. But with respect to the water area, what happens is that it's in a moving motion. So documentation is not very easy. So we need to look at the peculiarities between a moving object and a non-moving object. We want to look at this one from the aspect of allowing interactions within stakeholders. This object also must be linked with attributes for proper documentation within the cadastral database. We need to look at a situation where ability to store, to alter, raise queries, analyze, and display the 3D rights. That's what we call the right, the responsibility, and risk in documentation and in our activities on day-to-day basis. Marine cadastral data model integrates spatial and non-spatial components. What is spatiotemporal? Spatiotemporal simply means marine space and time. We are talking about a situation of where we'll be able to manage marine object that changes with time. We discovered that we can actually put instruments on ground and then begin to monitor a particular development physically. But these are not too easy in a moving object, in a floating object, like within the water system. So documentation are not too easy. So what is our current challenges? Now models have been developed. We have 3D models which presently are at conceptual level and at logical levels. Then because of this nature, if you look at everything you view, you can see from 3 sides. You can see the front side and both the left and the right hand side. But it's usually difficult to look at the 4th angle. So we're looking at a situation where we'll be able to see things from the 4th dimension. Remember, we have the first 1 dimension, 2 dimension, and then of recent now, looking things from the 3-dimensional view. But it's not enough to give us the whole history as what we are looking for. So, and in an environment, particularly in marine environment, we see a lot of investment. There are the stakeholders, the owners, the government. For example, government is interested in marine area because of security, because of interest, because of industries, because of pirate international activity system, and most importantly, issue of security. So every eyes are there. We have issues of developmental of businesses within the marine sector. Now, what are the problems? If we have these stakeholders, the owners, then we need to monitor them. For example, in Malaysia, Malaysia is a country that is known as feeding, getting their revenue from the sea. So if you don't develop our ports, there's that tendency that some other things will happen and then they will lose their source of revenue. Now, our goal, like I said, is to develop a 4D marine cadastral data model that will be able to show us this from the 4 angle of anything we are looking at, highlighting the peculiarities of marine cadastral components with their interactions and with the stakeholder. Updating existing 3D cadastral data model by adding the time component. This time around, we now be having what? 3D plus what? Time. Time measures everything. These activities, if they can be measured, documented at the time of happening, at the time of decisions, at the time when results are taken, then we will now be able to have a database that will actually show us what is happening. And then the issue of 3D question, not being able to visualize, not being able to query from our database can be addressed if data are in our database. What is the method? We intend to use the universal model modeling language, the UML of enterprise architect software, which we will now use to model our structural schema and logical and physical modeling. This is our conceptual flow model. If you look at the conceptual model, we are trying to define the spatiotemporal as having been marine space and time. Then you look up there, we have the interest.
Then we are saying that at the end of the day, all of them should now come down to give us the 4-dimensional model. And this is the model we have proposed so far. If you look from conception there, I tried to define spatio-temporal into the two components, marine space and then time. When you look at the spatio-temporal, you discover that they have their own components. That is, anything you talk about space, space belongs to, we have ownership, we have attribute, and then we have what we call the land development model. That is, what are the attributes? The spatial components, what define a model or an attribute. For example, if we want to describe a human being, for example, you talk about the head, the neck, the main body, and then the standing system. So what we are saying simply here is that from this work, we have been able to bring a model to defining space, the aspect of space. We now bring them down. Then looking at their individual model, who is the owner? An owner will definitely have, an owner could be the government, it could be the stakeholder. When you go under the attribute, an attribute could be temporal, it could be spatial. And then when you look under the LADM, we already have aspect that an item can be defined by whether it is spatial, that is having the length and the breadth, or the height, or the zoom level. So if you go to the other side of time, a time can be defined having two components. Also, they will have the temporal aspect and then the temporal database, meaning that for every database of time, of every activity that happens, you will have it then done in your database. Therefore, the problem that is the challenges of not being able to query in the model, not being able to display or visualization will be handled by this particular model. I want to thank you sincerely for listening. In conclusion, we are proposing that the 4D cadastral model will address some of the gaps in the 3D cadastral data model. It will improve the core intentions of the 3 marine cadastral data model, and then fill the knowledge gap. And then we intend at the end of the day, from what we have said, at the end of the day, we'll be able to say, okay, the 3D data model is absolutely necessary. That will integrate right integration with time via 4D spatial data model might be justified as being the advantageous for this program. Our future intention is that the development of the new prototype model will involve numerous design decisions. Further research due to technological challenges and other challenges that might arise in subsequent work need to be looked at. Then further studies to enhance this integration of time aspect for a more robust, acceptable new 4D marine cadastral data model will be a future proposal. Thank you very much for listening.
I like the title very much, although this is not my area, but I do understand it a little bit, the contributions. But what I like about it is that this research actually have much innovation into it. Yeah? And then I believe you are really challenge yourself to do this research, and which is actually the finding of this research will contribute a lot. And I can see that from your presentations, it looks like you are very confident because you are actually an expert in this area, but then you bring it to beyond the normal ways of people are doing research related to cadastral data analysis and models. So what I actually can see is that with this kind of research, usually it will attract easily it will attract the examining attentions, and in terms of the relevance of this research, why you're doing it, because I can see the relevance of this research towards and the finding the really significance to the developments of nations, especially in the area that you inject. I think different factors into the existing factors. This is the innovation is there. Okay, so congratulations and all the best. Okay, thank you. I need to move.
Thank you very much.
Okay. My student is coming. So you done with the seminar? No.
No.
You have
Now we have to go into
engineering, but you done all for the social science.
Thank you very much.
Wow, nice.
Thank you.
If you have a business, I need your card.
Thank you, everyone. We'll be taking a break at the moment. So you will need to confirm the session chair of the engineering program. Please, can you message in the chat? Okay, Dr. Geoffrey. Okay. Dr. Geoffrey.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay.
Yeah, I'm online with you.
Okay.
So when is the
Thank you so much for
session
coming
starting?
online. Yes. So, please be patient while we call on the next presenter.
Okay. That's all right.
Please, the next presenter. What's his name? Musa Adamu. Musa Adamu. Inusa Adamu. Inusa Adamu Bena. And the last one is Kamalu Garba. He's there. Kamalu Garba. Kamalu Garba, are you there? Please turn on your mic. Kamalu Garba. Kamalu Garba. Is it on now? No, he's not online. I'm still waiting.
Can we make a closing speech?
He's supposed to be online, but he's not responding. It's Kamal. It's like he has gone offline. He has gone offline.
You can proceed with the next person till he comes back.
Okay, who is the next person? So Kamalo is not online. Okay. Okay. Yes, I also saw him online. He has gone offline.
Then we give a vote of thanks. Yes, please. Let's put the camera.
Just a moment. Okay. In terms of okay, Engineer Dr. Jeffrey, we will have to postpone or because the people are not around.
All right.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Are we still doing it today?
Yes.
Okay. It's all right.
Because they are not around.
Yeah, when you are ready to start, tell them to message me through WhatsApp when they are around, so that I will be aware.
Say that again.
Okay, I said when they are around, tell Dr. Ndoka to message me through WhatsApp so that I can join.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, you are welcome. All right.
ICSESS 2020 Your closing
Thank you very much, MC, for inviting me. And thank you, everybody that is suffering for your participation. I want to sincerely thank everybody, those online connecting from Nigeria and the world. I sincerely want to thank you all for making this event a success. It was a huge success because of your participation and because of your determination for us to be able to carry out this event. To my members of the organizing committee, I want to sincerely appreciate you all. You all did a marvelous job. Yes, I was leading, but I can't do it all. Your contributions were immense, and I want to thank you. For all secretaries that are both at Nigeria now because they have to travel for some family emergencies, I want to sincerely appreciate you, your efforts to wake up night and be in our meetings cannot be emphasized. I appreciate our partners and collaborators, Nigerian Institute of transport technology, the Nigerian Institute of Infrastructure and Science and Information, NASENI. I want to thank you so immensely. I want to thank the School of Graduate Studies, UTL, and also our umbrella here in UTL, the UTM International, for all the effort, all the support, all the encouragement, and for believing in us to power our event. I thank you all for all the delegates that participated from everywhere, especially our delegates that came from other universities to be here with us. I want to sincerely thank you all. From all of us, on behalf of the President of ICSESS Nigeria, from all of us in ICSESS Nigeria and ICSESS Conference 2022, I want to say thank you all and thank you all. We at this time are calling it short for this year's conference, and it is our desire and our hope that we will all gather here again in the 6th ICSESS conference. Thank you all once again, and God bless you all. Thank you all.
Time, all of my brothers.
Give us the praise. Thank you so much.
These 90 parliaments. So we balance so how do people take down
Thank you all for tuning in.
This is a common floating 2022 ICSESS conference. We are appreciated for this Photoshop.
I think we can get this. You know,
Yeah, so it's good. Where? Yeah. These certificates, so that I will go find out to do the printing before that. The place you are supposed to print is the station that is operating the